your attack dog to come out and tell the American people, listen, this is what we did.
Joy, that's your job.
And she said yes. You notice that Joy, who I believe is the most misnamed person on planet Earth, Joy is troubled by the lone media outlet Fox. She can only name one, and other outlets. Really? What other outlets? Talk radio? The outlets that dare tell the other side. And he says, that's your job to be the attack dog. Meanwhile, Congress is also being tossed into the scrap heap of history. Between all the executive orders and regulatory powers the executive branch has now amassed in a very short time, soon Congress may be able just to go home. Don't worry about it. The latest grab by the president is an internal memo prepared for the head of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services that says it is possible to provide green cards or delay deportation for hundreds of thousands of immigrants who are now living and working in the United States without papers or permanent residence. Remember, that's what we tried to solve and swore we would after 9/11? Who needs Congress to pass comprehensive immigration reform? You don't. The White House can just, quote, offer administrative relief options to promote family unity, foster economic growth. All these sound so, don't they all sound so warm? Achieve significant process improvements and reduce the threat of removal for certain individuals present in the United States without authorization. And they don't need Congress. What did I tell you a year ago, Congress? You're irrelevant. Don't worry. The U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service released a statement on this memo because talk radio got their hands on it. Nobody should mistake deliberation and exchange of ideas. It's all academic. For final decisions, to be clear, DHS will not grant deferred action or humanitarian parole to the nation's entire illegal immigrant population. Oh, what a relief. Not the entire, what is it, 10 or now are we up to 20? Who's counting anymore? Million illegal aliens. They're not the entire, they're not going to be able to stay. No. Maybe just 1 million, maybe 5, maybe 500,000, who knows? It's all academic. Don't you worry your pretty little head about it. The White House will take care of it. By the way, that 10.7 million, it's the estimated number from DHS. Who knows what the real number is? Oh, wait, maybe we'll know soon because Acorn was counting recently. All of this goes back to the very early stages in American progressives. You've seen this movie before if you know history. I told you about it earlier. Woodrow Wilson wrote back in his book in 1885 about Congress's time being much better spent, not with legislation, but in the instruction and guidance of political affairs of the nation. Really? Isn't that great? Now, when he got into office, he wrote that in 1885. That's ancient history. Pay no attention. As he did exactly what Barack Obama is doing now. Wilson didn't want Congress sticking their nose into legislation too much. He wanted that authority. He hated the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. He wanted specifically those powers given to him that are given to the Congress by the Constitution. The American people understood back there. They knew, as I think they're beginning to now. What these progressives are trying to do is to circumvent or co-opt, not just the media or Congress, but the entire United States Constitution and anyone who stands with it because they know better. You know, I think it was last Monday, a week ago Monday, I told you that we were 40 days and 40 nights away from 8/28. And America, I don't even know how many people are going to show up. I can tell you that it's on August 28th at the Lincoln Memorial, something's going to happen there, and it's going to be for good. I think it's going to be a defibrillator to the body of this country, spiritually. At least I hope it is. But something is coming our way, and we have to be prepared spiritually. And I told you, get yourself in shape, 40 days, 40 nights. Well, here's a treadmill. I want to tell you a little story on this. A friend of mine was running on the treadmill, and this is not, I mean, this story is not, you know, my friend is not really me disguised as a friend. I mean, You think I exercise? General Mills, yes. Treadmills, never. So this friend of mine, Leslie, she went to this new gym. And she said that this treadmill that she had was much more complex than this one. And she was standing on it, and everybody was all really, really in shape. And they're all just working out and running really fast. And so she kind of feels a little peer pressure. And so she starts the treadmill, and it takes off. And at first she's just walking. And then it gets faster and faster. And the speed kind of caught up to her. And now she was running out of control. And she realizes she's about to wipe out and look like a complete idiot in front of all these, you know, Greek gods and goddesses around her. And she doesn't know. She's panicked. And she's trying, how do I slow it down? How do I stop it? And it was all these buttons. She said she almost wiped out because she failed to recognize this. The big, huge stop button. All she had to do is just hit stop. She said she felt like the biggest dummy ever when she saw that stop button and she hit stop. Why do I tell you this story? Because I learned something from my kids over the weekend. I noticed something about my kids. The difference between my son and my 3 daughters. I want to share it with you next. 40 days and 40 nights to change our lives and get into shape. And I don't mean, believe me, you think I'm talking to people, and you got to get on that treadmill. No. I figured something out. I was thinking about my children over the weekend. The difference between, I have 1 son and then I have 3 daughters. My son is so entirely different than my daughters, and I think it's the same in every family. He is constantly running around. He is constantly climbing things. I swear that kid, I'm going to find him in the chimney at one point, you know, using that as a base. He's 5 years old. He is always playing good guys, bad guys. He's fashioning always something into a weapon. I'm going to see him on the roof someday wielding some sort of Lego grenade. One time he said to me, "Dad, look," and he's at the top of the stairs, "I can fly." And I'm like, "No, you can't. Don't try." That's my son. My daughters, I have them from 22 now, all the way down to 4. They, each of them, slow down. They turn the machine off. They can sit and they can read and they can be quiet. They can be still. You know, I thought this weekend, you know how women always say, well, guys, they don't grow up until they're 30, if that, and they laugh. You know what? I think that's probably true because guys never stop. We're just always fashioning, you know, a weapon out of something. What have my daughters taught me? What has my wife taught me? To be still. To be still. Why is that important? Be still and know that I am God. We have to start listening to that still, small voice. We don't want to wait around for the seized part, because I think we're going to wait for a very long time. We need to be able to sense what's coming. We need to be able to see with more than just our eyes. Maybe that's why I have an eye problem now. I've honestly began to think, gosh, Lord, I must have missed something because I can see. What are you trying to teach me? Maybe it's just that. Hit the button, stop the machine, get off. You don't have to keep running because everybody else is, and who cares if you look stupid? You look even more stupid when you fall into the back and you hit your head on that stupid mirror that, who wants to look at themselves in shorts? Not me. The only way to defeat evil is with good. And here's the great thing. Darkness doesn't understand the light. We not only need to understand the light, we need to be standing in the light. Be still, ponder, and know what's true. Back in a minute. Here on the program, I talked to you about the difference between democracy and a republic. There's a huge difference. This is the one that's in the Pledge of Allegiance, not this. Why does everybody in Washington keep calling us a democracy and keep talking about wanting more democracy? On Friday, find out what our founders meant by that and why we are a republic. It's an important distinction. From New York, good night, America.